Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about finding the area of a parallelogram. We're going to look at two different strategies that will really help you to master this concept. Before we look at those strategies, however, I do want to review really quickly what is a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a four-sided figure and it has some interesting properties. First of all, it has two pairs of parallel sides, and these parallel sides are not only opposite each other, but they're also equal in length. Also, the opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal too. This means that if you know one angle, you have a good clue about the others across from it. And of course, on the other side of the angle, we have the corner, also known as the vertices. As we look at these different examples of parallelograms, the first one we have is the rhombus. You can see with the rhombus, it looks like it's kind of leaning to the side, and that is because there are no right angles. But that is not a determination for a parallelogram. You can see that we have all equal sides, but realistically, we only need two sets of parallels. So all four sides don't need to be the same measurement, but the one straight across from it or directly across from it would need to. We have a rectangle, which is a lot more common. And with that, we do have all four right angles. And this is a good example of what I was just talking about, where two parallel sets have the same measurement. So we have the top and bottom that are the same, and we have the left and right that are the same. So a rectangle would be categorized as parallelogram. And the last one we have is the square. With this one, all four angles are right angles, and we have four equal sides. So both our top and bottom are equal, and our left and right are equivalent as well. Okay, so as we look at how we are going to measure and find the area, we're going to be looking at two different properties. We're going to be looking at the length and the width of the shape. As we have that information, that will become very important moving forward with our second strategy. The first strategy is area on a grid. And this is basically placing the shape on a grid and counting how many squares. So we could go through and count each square individually, or we can take the total across units squares and down and times that. So across the top we have 7 and down the side we have 5. So that gives us 35 square units. This is very simple if you have a square or a rectangle. With a rhombus, it gets a little bit more complicated. So for a rhombus, or when we do have the measurements of a rectangle, we would take the length and times it by the width to find the total area. For example, if we're going to find the area of this basketball court, we're going to take the length, which is 15 meters, and times it by the width, which is 11 meters. That gives us an area of 165 square meters. And it's very important that you put in the square meters because 165 meters is vastly different than 165 square meters. You guys did a great job today. I want you to take a look around the room and see if you can find any parallelograms to measure and have a great time.